Freeman Boatworks and Trilogy Outdoors are proud to announce the addition of Freeman Boatworks to our family of incredible partners. Billy Freeman and his team at Freeman Boatworks epitomize the American dream. From building the first boat in Billy's backyard to a 150,000 square foot state-of-the-art manufacturing plant over the past 15 years, they are building one of the most sought-after boats in the U.S. and beyond. These incredible fishing platforms are built in South Carolina and are second to none in stability, speed, and performance overall. These catamaran designs are engineered not only to get you to the fish fast, but comfortably too. Years of refining designs and pioneering the modern performance fishing catamaran is why Freeman Boatworks is the #1 choice for some of the biggest names in the fishing industry. If it's long runs in the Gulf or the Carolinas, or days you can go fishing in South Florida when most center consoles stay at the dock, Freeman Boatworks is at the forefront in all categories. For more information on Freeman Boatworks and their 6 available models, visit www.freemanboatworks.com. Redefine your expectations.
For over 8 years, GovWorld Auctions has been solving surplus issues for municipalities and counties in South Carolina and beyond. Their turnkey customer service has made them one of the best in the business here in the U.S., and they are located right here in our home state of South Carolina. If you're looking for tractors, heavy machines, and vehicles, just to name a few, our partners at GovWorld have you covered. The process is simple, and their experts will come to you to inspect, photograph, and video all items before they make them available to everyone in the world for the bidding process. GovWorld online auctions are supported by mailers, emails, and promotion to the biggest buyers in the country, and they get results and the highest dollar possible for your items. Don't go out of state to another auction company. Support business here in South Carolina and let GovWorld get you top dollar for your items and put the money back in your city, municipality, or county. Give GovWorld a call or visit their website, govworld.com, for more info and to set up a visit with one of their experts to get you in the next auction. Don't let valuable items just sit behind a fence. Give GovWorld a call and start turning them into money today. Recently, Senator Goldfinch and myself were introduced to Healthy Cell and their incredible line of products. Stephen started on a regimen of taking Focus and Recall after each daily workout to help his body recover from the physical demand of a workout and to help boost his focus and brain power that he needs on long days on the Senate floor. For myself, the last few years, I've been struggling to get the recommended amount of vitamins and nutrients in my body due to decreased appetite. When I was introduced to Bioactive Multi, I was excited to start a daily regimen that I felt would help my performance both on and off the water and would give me more energy to get through long days and increase my productivity. With Bioactive Multi, I know that I am getting the FDA daily recommended amounts, and with the mixed berry flavor and the ease of swallowing, my body is able to absorb these vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants through the proprietary gel format that Healthy Cell has created. This allows my body to quickly absorb and start using these valuable nutrients to help me get through long busy days, just like we all go through in our daily lives. Go visit healthycell.com/trilogy and use our promo code TRILOGY, all caps, to receive 20% off of your first order and start living a better life today.
In Myrtle Beach, you always go at your own pace. Lie out on the sand, lie out by the pool, go boogie boarding, go surfing, walk the boardwalk, walk the marsh walk, golf at one of 90 golf courses, mini golf at one of 50 mini golf courses, fish off a pier, fish from a chartered boat, go shopping, get drinks, eat the freshest seafood. The list is exhaustive, but the experience isn't. You can go all out or do nothing at all. How you relax is up to you. There is so much to do and explore, whether you're traveling with friends, family, or just yourself. With 60 miles of beach, you're going to find your place. If this sounds like what you need, then this is where you belong.
Hey, do y'all like fishing for prizes? Maybe a trip to Costa Rica or a once-in-a-lifetime African safari? Well, the Grand Strand Fishing Rodeo is back. Thanks to the hard work of Visit Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, and Trilogy Outdoors Media, this once-popular event is back and is bigger and better than ever. This event is comprised of 12 monthly competitions that culminate in November with our annual banquet and expo, the celebration of fishing on the Grand Strand. New to this event is the freshwater division that will help include all of our anglers that live and visit the Grand Strand throughout the year. Monthly species winners will receive great prize packages from Bass Pro Shop and Surf Signs and Designs. But most importantly, they will receive an invite for them and a guest to our annual banquet and an entry in the grand prize drawing. So whether you fish the rivers, a pond, the pier, the surf, or a boat, you have a chance to win the grand prizes. To get signed up or for additional information, visit TrilogyOutdoorsMedia.com and click on event. Also, you can visit any of our weigh stations and registration stations to get signed up as well. Best of luck to everyone, and we'll see you at the scale.
Trilogy Outdoors.
All right, folks, we are back here with another exciting episode of Trilogy Outdoors podcast, and we are in the studio today. And Stephen, this is a bittersweet moment for us. This is going to be our last face-to-face, but we've already got it worked out. We're going to be able to do things via all kinds of electronics and technical and everything else from over there, right?
We're gonna give it our best shot. I don't know exactly how yet, but we are. I know that I'm going to have some Wi-Fi capability sometimes, and when we do, we're going to figure something out.
So Wi-Fi capability. How about cell phone? Because I've had people say that they've been able to text with their loved ones over there and stuff. Is that?
Yeah. So Wi-Fi, if you've got an iPhone, which you don't, right? No,
I do.
You do now. So Wi-Fi, you can
iMessage.
Right. You can iMessage without having service. And so I'm going to suspend my Verizon service, and I'm just going to work off of Wi-Fi.
That's smart. That's smart.
Basically what I'm going to do. And so, yeah, I mean, we'll have FaceTime capability, so we can do recorded messages. We can do iMessage. I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Well, yeah, because I'm going to be leaning on you for a bunch of stuff. With the rodeo, obviously I met today with Chase Adams on the phone, and we're meeting Wednesday, but we really want to, obviously being Veterans Day, November 11th, and introduce our guest that you have rudely brought over drug him out of his yard and made him come over.
Andy Roberts. Andy's the man. You know why Andy's the man? Because Andy is the number one on the rodeo hit list this month.
For the Amberjackamus.
Amberjack. What is Amberjack? What?
Reap donkey.
Well, I know that.
What is it? What?
Yeah, you got to know the scientific term.
Give it to me.
Ambergus Jackus.
Oh, God, that sounds like something he just pulled out of his lawyer files there, huh?
That's totally wrong, but it sounded pretty good.
That was good.
Andy's number one on the list right now.
How about Reepamus Donkamus?
Yeah, that sounds good.
That sounds good.
I like that too.
How about I hate to see him when I'm king mackerel fishing behind the boat? That's even
better, yeah.
Yeah.
Andy's on the leaderboard this month for Reef Donkey, and we are looking forward to him being in where's my sound?
Yeah, hang on.
Where's my sound effect? There you go.
Yep.
How about coming off the spool? You got something coming off?
Oh, yeah, here we go.
There he is.
Yep.
Looking forward to seeing him in the grand prize drawing for a prize trip to either South Africa for a safari or
I see you on that safari.
Or Costa Rica for a fishing trip.
I see the fishing trip.
I see the fishing trip.
Oh, man, I don't know. What would your wife prefer to do, Costa Rica or South Africa?
I don't think she'd do South Africa.
I think she would. Once I get a hold of her and start talking to her about it.
Now,
you could convince
we are talking about the lady here who she does have a very important job. Your wife does. Not only does she keep you straight, but she also keeps the senator looking camera ready, correct?
That's right.
She does.
That's right.
She does. That's hard to do. That's hard to do.
That is hard to do.
She is my professional hairdresser.
She is your hairdresser.
And just a shout out to Kyle Stewart because I almost threw the reef donkey back.
And he
saved it for you.
I'm going to tell you.
He reminded me that it was on this month's list.
I'm putting him in my most consistent category since day one. Best fan of the rodeo because literally the first weekend that the rodeo started, him and the wife were out.
Yeah.
Well, he's got 2 or 3 now.
I think 2. Yeah.
Two.
He's got a crappie. Mm-hmm. So he's definitely on the freshwater side.
They got the crappie, and then he won.
Black sea
Black
bass?
drum, wouldn't it? Or black sea. He won something in
Maybe it was black
January.
bass. Yeah, so I think he's on the
And
saltwater.
by the way, if you want to find that out, go to TrilogyOutdoorsMedia.com. You can find all of it right there with tournament results. I'm sorry.
That's right. So I think he's on the board for saltwater and freshwater, which, by the way, the most interesting thing to me about the rodeo is that a half a pound, that's not even the way you say brim. I mean, but whatever, a 6-ounce brim.
A titty brim. You know what a titty brim is?
Titty
right?
brim. Thank you. A titty brim.
Got to hold them right there to get the hook out?
Not even a titty brim, like a half of a titty brim.
Yep.
That some kid catches in a pond behind the house can win you a trip to Costa Rica or an African safari in the same way that a giant cobia or king mackerel or grouper will win you, with you having to go 100 miles offshore.
In your neighborhood pond.
Yeah.
That's it. And
Everybody's on the same level playing field.
everybody is. And for the most part, the fishing-wise, it's the same way, Yeah. Getting out there, fishing on the beach, you're out there spending time with the kids, bait a rod up, throw it out. This month in particular, whiting is on there. You catch a whiting in the surf, you might want to ride over to Perry's or somewhere, Merle's on the fishing charters, and go weigh the thing. And
what else is on the list? So you got whiting?
So this month, I put whiting on there for our pier people. We've got Spanish kings. We've got grouper, scamps and gags only, but they are competing against each other.
Yep.
Amberjack, and
So Spanish kings and whiting. So the pier guys will have an opportunity this month for sure.
absolutely, yes.
So they've been catching some Spanish and some kings on the piers too.
They have been.
Yeah.
And I wanted to make sure we kept them in the game. And all the piers are opening up. By the way, big announcement this week. Perry's Bait and Tackle, our local little tackle shop here and a partner of ours in our magazine and in our radio show, signed the lease on the tackle store at Surfside Pier.
Surfside Pier. Yeah, yep. and I know that our friend and our partner in Captain's Felonious, our new podcast, Captain's Felonious Reports, which is on Apple.
Yep.
And Spotify.
And Spotify.
Great new podcast we've got out, which talks about crazy stories. Our friend, Captain Jason Burton, who is one of the co-hosts of that podcast, just caught a 40-pound king in the surf, 6 feet of water, a couple days ago. One of his clients did.
Yes, and how did you know that? You're right. Yes, he did.
Somebody sent me a picture of it.
I know. They've been killing me. That's why we couldn't fish where we wanted to fish in the tournament this weekend, and we'll talk about the Jolly Mon, but because everybody, the day before, there were 4 fish over 30 pounds supposedly caught. So everybody started spreading the words. And it was funny because the 2 people that called me said, don't tell anybody. I'm not telling anybody.
But everybody knows.
Yeah. And that we started out the morning. Anyway, we'll get back to where we were. But we started out the morning. You couldn't put the lines in the water. There's boats everywhere. I couldn't draw. I hate fishing that way. I don't care what they say is there. I don't care what fish they say are there.
This was everywhere around like the Rock or...
This was at Georgetown Inshore Reef. I'll say it. I don't care. Yeah. Georgetown Inshore Reef. The tide line had run over it, was running over the reef.
Oh, yeah.
And when that happens, it's a recipe for incredible fishing.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to make sure we were right. Spadefish.
Spadefish is one.
Spadefish, whiting, Spanish mackerel, grouper, amberjack, and king mackerel.
I'm going to call it now that a kid is going to win the spadefish tournament this month.
I'm going to call it now, but I'm also going to call some people idiots, and I'm going to call them out on the radio right now, idiots. Tommy Warner, you and I sat in the truck when we did career day at Lakewood Elementary, talking about how you could sign up so many people for the rodeo and this and that, and you were going to sign up. Dude, he caught spadefish this big the other day. And multiple.
By this big, he means...
I'm saying, let's say
8
pounds.
8 to 10 pound spadefish, yeah.
And not one person was signed up. Not one person. And I've done the same thing, giggled and laughed at them. I'm like, y'all, hey, look, if you let $20 hold you back from what you could win... Dude,
we talk about the African safari and the Costa Rican fishing trip all the time, but there are lots and lots and lots of other prizes that we're going to be giving away at the banquet, which is at Sarah J's, November 10th.
Right.
I mean, lots of prizes, and it's $20 to sign up.
And you got to win to get in to the party.
Right.
For free.
So, I mean,
and you're not getting in for free, your prize. But we are going to, Chase and I are meeting on Wednesday to figure out, we're going to kind of get a head count because we know how many winners we're going to have.
Yeah.
And we're going to get that, and then we're going to figure out how many tickets we can sell. So if you want to come hang out and be that guy hanging out with the winners, we're going to let you come hang out and enjoy some great food and good times. So we'll get that worked out.
It's an opportunity for all of us who have a lot of the similar interests to get together and have a good time. Just sign up. It's easy. We're not making any money on the entry fees. I mean, we're losing money on this deal. We're doing this because we want everybody to get together and have a good time and to bring some fellowship to the fishing community. So sign up. Sign up. And get an opportunity to win some big prizes, some middle-level prizes, some low-level prizes. But a prize, $20 is a low entry fee. Super low.
The hats are $25 alone.
The hats cost us $25.
The hats are $25. I mean,
right.
Well, I think
it's a good
it
thing.
just adds a whole nother level to your fishing experience.
That's right.
Yeah, it does.
Every month you have a different number of species that you can win on and fish for, and it just adds another level.
It does, and for the most part, we're all going fishing anyway. Why not? I mean,
it's a competition. It makes it better.
Yeah.
It makes it better.
You look at my niece's boyfriend, Nate, who had never been flounder fishing, ever. So that morning, I looked at her for her birthday. It was her 21st, Cameron's 21st birthday. I said, here's what we got. We've got 3 entries that we have 10 because we're sponsors of it too. Yeah. I said, we have 3 entries, and I'm putting y'all in the computer. And I put Winston, Cameron, and Nate in the computer, and I said, just in case. Well, 7.22 pounds later,
Ooh.
And the biggest flounder that we've had for the year in any month. Here's a guy who catches his very first fish. That was his first saltwater fish ever.
Very first flounder, very first.
Do you think
fish.
he's excited about going flounder fishing ever again?
7.2 pound flounder.
Yeah.
How do you go ahead of that?
How do you exactly? How do you get excited to go back fishing after that?
Yeah,
no doubt about it. But it has been so much fun to hear stories from people, and I'm hoping really the next 3 months, and I mean we're just getting into good fishing. We all know that here. And September, October are 2 of the best months of the year.
October is my favorite.
October's your favorite, yeah. So, I mean, I think we're going to have just a lot of interest as we moving forward. And hopefully WPDE is going to get off their behind. And now that you're leaving, which I wanted you in part of it, but they're going to do a story on it. So
yeah, that's cool. Dude, we've had some monster flounder caught this year. I mean, it's just been incredible.
How dare you change the limit of flounder to
I know.
16 inches?
I know, right?
How dare you do that?
I know. In the
You're
last
killing all the females.
the last 5 years, it has just gotten. I know we've talked about this before, but I am enthusiastic about the future of flounder, especially after this year.
Absolutely.
I mean, you had a guy that wanted to weigh a fish the other day after that 7.2 pound flounder was caught.
5'8".
Well, it was 5'8". He thought
Texted me while I was driving in the boat.
Yeah, he thought no problem. I win with the 5'8".
Yeah, he thought he was all in.
Like nah.
Literally going to the scale with Nate in the boat. We
Yeah.
had just put it in, and he sends it to me. And it was one of those, the text, and that his thought when he sent it to you was that feeling of, hey.
I got this.
Got
And
it.
I texted him back. I said, dude, that's a great fish. Any other month.
Any other month. Yeah. Any other month. But I mean, there have been multiple fish weighed in over 5 pounds. Multiple.
There have been.
Paulie's has been hot.
Yeah.
Flounder.
Yeah.
You just got a target put on your back for that comment.
Uh-oh.
Well, yeah. I mean, that everybody knows it though. Everybody knows it.
Here's the thing: the difference in Paulie's is the fact that there are people who are scared to death of going trying to fish there, like me. I mean, maybe in a kayak.
You don't want them to shoot holes in your boat?
No, God. I know we're going to talk about Freeman boats today, but I just got to say one thing. I saw the most god-awful, scariest sight when I was pulling in Lucas's, by the way. It's nice, as we are sponsors of Team Long Run, and it was nice to take his boat and actually fish it and get some awards on it. But as I was pulling into that very busy weigh-in, up there in that little channel at Ocean Isle, and anybody's ever been there knows how small it is.
Yeah.
Here comes Mr. One-Engine Freeman. And as he turns around, I noticed the motor's trimmed up. And as he turns around and he starts back by us, he's doing a great job driving that catamaran with one engine, which speaks volumes on the design of the boat.
Let me guess. They were Mercuries.
Oh, they were Mercuries, but I don't think it mattered what they were. The whole lower unit, the lower unit was gone.
He had run into something.
And then there was a crack all down the motor.
Oh,
Yeah.
He had run into something. He had hit something.
Yeah. And the 27-pound fish they weighed in didn't win them a dime. So
That's incredible.
hopefully they didn't do it on their way up there to weigh in. But, yeah, I've seen a lot of those. The Intercoastal Waterway, people were asking me between Little River and Grand Dunes can be scary.
Yeah.
I tell anybody, if you're going to go through there, make sure you're not in a hurry. Because if you try to run in and out of traffic and you get out of that channel at all, that
hit rocks.
shell,
Yeah.
the shell that sticks out, it's crazy.
Well, not just that, but I mean, all the dag-blame jet skis. Up
Oh,
that way.
boy.
I mean, they're doing jet ski rentals now, and so any time on the waterway up there is just I avoid it at all costs.
Yeah, it is what it is. I'll tell you, Jay Bache looked at me and said, and the people in Murrells Inlet complain about the traffic there. They need to come up here. I mean, literally, we came into Little River, and I was smoking at about 52, running about 52, coming in, and then I slowed down for Bird Island just to look at the scenery.
Right.
And slowed down there, and then we made it around the first curb, and then I could never get back on plane because of the traffic.
Really?
Until we hit the Intercoastal. When I turned into Intercoastal going north, I was able to get it up on plane to the Sunset Bridge, and then I had to slow down there, and then I got it on plane one more time, and everywhere else I could not get on plane. There was little boats. There was these, worse than jet skis, these little things that you sit in that have like two little kayaks on them, and I don't know, you've seen them, and they got an outboard motor on the back of them, but they rent them. There's like 5 or 6 of them, and they literally have that much above the water line.
Freeboard.
And they send them out in the Intercoastal Waterway.
Yeah.
And here comes, I mean, we were 32 yellowfin, and we were probably the smallest boat that I saw up there. And they're all running, trying to get to the weigh-in.
Right.
Smoking it.
Where'd you put in?
We left from here. Don't ask me about the fuel burn.
Why? Why? You just for convenience?
I fished 3 miles inside of the southern boundary.
Okay. Yeah.
We caught our fish 3 miles inside of the southern boundary. When I put in Ocean Isle, when we caught that fish, which we caught that fish at 2 o'clock, no, 1:58. We caught that fish at 1:58. We'd already decided if we didn't have a fish in the boat by 3, we couldn't make it. Caught the fish at 1:58, and I put it in. It was 82 miles to Ocean Isle, Shallotte Inlet. Oof. So we decided, honestly, because still, if you go in Shallotte, you got to come back a couple miles down the waterway. So we decided to go into ICW and run up through Little River.
So
but
you did burn some fuel then.
Yeah, we did.
But I mean, it was a nice.
Let me tell you.
It was a nice
I
run.
mean, if you don't finish in the top 5, if you're running any kind of distance and running any kind of boat,
You're not gonna
you're
break
losing
even.
money. No.
So you finished 10th? Is that right?
We ended up 15th.
15th.
So, yep, we ended up 15th. And I think the best part of it was McClure has once again brought home hardware. He finished second. We have put him in the winter circle, in the fall classic, in the Kings for the fall. He was second place in the Wahoo Challenge, second youth, and now he was second in this. So he's happy. He got some nice hardware, and a big round of applause last night. We went up to the awards. That was another mistake. We thought the award, we got there at 3:30. We delivered magazines, took the whole family. We went out and delivered Conway and up in North Myrtle. And then we ran up there, and we thought it was like 5 o'clock as the way in, and then they do the awards right after. No, it was at 8.
Oh.
But the food was worth it. The food was worth it, and spent a lot of. It was a loser for me anyway. My kids got in there, and I did not know they made pelagic fishing wear for kids. But my son
That got expensive.
is now the poster child for pelagic cans of fishing. He got lucky.
You burned that credit card up, huh?
He got lucky. He burned it up.
So what ended up winning?
46.
That's a good one.
So they have 20-something thousand in a pot that everybody, every year, they do $20, break the record. It's only $20 a team, and I will admit and raise my hand that I did not pay the $20. But didn't matter. But this team, 46.8 is the record, and this team had a 46.
Ooh.
Yep. They would have won another 20,000. They won 58,000.
I'm surprised that's the record. I would have figured it'd been in the 50s up there.
I would have thought so too. I think it's the time of the year. Now, they've had plenty of 50s in the fall.
Yeah. In the fall.
Yeah,
That's true.
I mean, Brent's son,
Because I know they're catching 60s up there in the fall, like a little bit farther up
a
north.
little further up north.
Yeah, North Carolina.
Which is the reason this is all right, listen, I'm not a king mackerel tournament fisherman. I really am not. I'm just going to say it's fun to do every now and then, and Hooked on Miracles, our charity tournament, is great. But I am not one of those that's going to get into it. I don't have the boat to do it. I don't have the money to do it. But when Lucas gave us the opportunity to take his boat and fish this tournament and the other 4 in this division to try and qualify for Moorhead, which is what you're talking about. That's where the 60-pounders are, and it's the first week of December, which is going to be cold.
Yeah.
But it's when the 60-pounders are up there. So we are sitting in 4th right now in the SKA. Because despite the fact that we were 15th, we were the 4th place SKA team. So that's good. If we get another in the top 20, we'll have enough points to qualify.
Awesome.
Yep. But king mackerel fishermen are a different breed.
They are.
They are. We used to laugh, got to have a lot of gold necklaces. I saw it yesterday.
Oh, man, I tell you.
Gold necklaces.
Yeah.
Originally it was the guys with jean shorts, or jorts as we called them. The
Cut off jean shorts. Yeah.
They had more money in their boat than they did in their house.
Yep.
Normally it was a, $20,000 mobile home with a $120,000 boat sitting outside of it.
That was 20 years ago.
That was 20 years
25 years ago.
Yeah.
Today it's more like a $500,000 boat,
Yep.
$250,000 house.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. And there were some beautiful boats up there. But, again, I'm just going to say that Freeman of Brant's is beautiful. He's got the 37.
Yeah.
And Braden, his son, who has caught more bluefin tuna than all of us in this room combined, Braden was challenged by Brant to move the boat, and everybody was up there going, "Oh, my God, y'all see this kid getting on this boat?" Oh, no. He moved it right down, moved it out the way. A buoy fell off. He had to run over there, pick it up, and then parked it right in the spot perfectly.
So this is Captain Brant?
Yeah, his son.
Okay,
Braden.
yeah. I met him. We fished on his boat
Yeah.
several years back out of Ocean Isle.
And he parked that thing. Joystick makes a big difference. That's cheating. Yeah. But parked it right in there. But, man, that boat is incredible. I got to see it running down the beach. And
Now, is this a brand new one he got?
the one this year.
Okay. Yeah, because we were on his old one then, I guess.
Yep. How many years ago?
Ooh. 5, 6.
Okay. Was it a Freeman or was it that other company?
It was a Freeman.
Okay, because
But it was brand new.
Okay. 'Cause
Then.
it didn't take him long to figure out that the other company that he had, because that was all his big deal. And then Billy started building those, and it was, he still got one of them in rotation up there, but as soon as Freeman came out, it was.
You know what, I lie. It was not that long ago. It was 4 or 5.
Okay, then
4
yeah.
years ago.
Yeah, because he started his partnership with Freeman about 5 years ago.
It was a little less than that.
That is a pretty boat, Stephen. I can't wait.
So I told you I fished. I fished on one. I fished on my cousin's.
I've still not ridden on one. Have you?
Just Captain Brant's.
Oh yeah. Okay, you did
just
ride
that
on one. Okay.
Fished on my cousin's boat, the family boat. What was that? Maybe 3 weeks ago for Tripp's birthday. He wanted to go. Wrote an article about that in this month's.
And your picture is in the bragging board.
All right, this month's Trilogy Outdoor magazine, and it was the day was fine. It was just an average ocean day. Let's just call it a 2.5 foot chop, okay. And when we finished fishing, we caught 50 or so dolphin. We kept 30, threw back 20 flip flops that we didn't want to keep. I laid in the bean bag in the back of the boat. I put my hat over my eyes. We got up on plane, and I woke up about an hour later because I felt the difference in the ocean, something different about the ocean. And I pulled my hat up over my eyes, and I looked, and we were inshore. We were running past the Georgetown Lighthouse, and I'm like, what in the world? We were 83 miles off the beach. We ran back at 78 miles an hour the entire ride. And I never bounced. I never lost my hat. I never spilled my drink.
Hey, you know what I say about that boat? People are dying to put fuel in that boat. Get it?
No doubt about it. There's no doubt about it. 78 miles an hour the entire ride.
Wow.
The entire ride. Never took a bad bounce, never lost my hat, never spilled my drink, 78 miles. And my son sat at the helm, 3 seats across the helm.
Yep.
He sat in the middle seat right there. He's 7 years old. He sat right there, fell asleep in the middle seat, never bounced off, never fell off.
Is the name still Last Call? Is that what he still goes by? Okay.
Yeah, it's last call, yeah.
All right.
And it's a 37 too, right?
It's a 37, yeah.
Oh, okay. It's not the 43.
No. Hayes has got the 37, yeah.
And then the 34 is the next step down. Is it 34, 37? They got something smaller now too, right? Aren't they working on the 20?
They're building a 28 now.
Yeah.
Yep, they're building a 28.
Well, I was hoping Billy would be able to join us. I keep checking my messages, by the way, to see if he might have messaged me back, but he hasn't.
Well, we need to introduce our new partner.
Absolutely. Go ahead. That's your job.
We haven't. I mean,
you line this all up.
We've been talking about him for forever now.
Yep.
But we would like to welcome Freeman Boatworks as a new partner to the Trilogy Outdoor Podcast world. They Freeman, we've been talking about them for a long time, so it's no surprise to anybody that they were coming on, I don't think. But Inglis, I mean, it's just a different breed of boat. If you hadn't ever ridden on one, I mean, everybody's heard about it by now, but if you hadn't ridden on one, you need to go ride on one. It is incredible, y'all. I mean, the amount of attention to detail that they put in boats, the ride that it has, everybody calls them magic carpets because they are.
Yep.
And the speed that they have. And then really the performance. I mean, we're burning, when you're running in the mid 4,000s on RPMs and you're running, cruise speed of 54, 55 miles an hour and you're burning 1.1, 1.2 in a 34 to a 37-foot boat, it's just incredible performance too. You're not burning 0.6 or 0.7 like you are in some heavy V-hull boat.
But the storage too.
The storage is incredible on those boats.
I was going to say, you could probably put your house in there.
Yeah, I mean they're great boats. We love them. We're proud of them. Billy and Scott have been great friends for years, and so we're proud to call them partners now on the podcast.
Extremely excited because now when I go to Hooked on Miracles in July, and Jason and I'm just going to fill you in on this now, partner. Now that you're going to find out about it. So we're not going to do it a lot, but we decided that for that week, that with the amount of guests that are going to be there and those that are invited, by the way, we have upped the invitation list this year. We are going to do a crossover. We're going to do both podcasts together. So basically, it'll be on both platforms. It'll be Trilogy Outdoors, Captain Filoni's Reports, but we're going to have Billy there. We'll have Hutch there. We'll have some other people I can't name yet, but we're going to have some really big people there.
Good.
We're going to do the podcast while we're there. Last year you saw it gets crazy, so we couldn't really think about it. But this year I've gotten the approval from everybody. I've just got to. Billy said that he is going to be at the sponsors banquet, so just set it up and we'll sit off the side and let everybody just kind of fill in and come walk in, talk, and leave. And we've done it several times. It works fine.
Yeah. Well, y'all make it work, I'm sure.
It works fine.
Yeah. Okay, so we are in our 59th episode, Inglis. Is this right?
This is 60, isn't it?
Is this 60?
It better be. That's what I've got it listed under because I did screw up. And by the way, once again, the responses to episode 59 have been incredible. I think a lot of people felt that they connected with that story, and not because they've been through it, but just listening to the story.
All right, so that's you.
That was author Johnny Savage.
Yeah, you were going where I was going. I was in the truck with my father-in-law this afternoon, helping him move a piece of furniture, which was awful. And he said the same exact thing. Can't believe y'all have had 60 episodes. And we were talking about that last episode and how good it was and how, everybody's been talking about it. And a lot of emotion in that, I think, in that podcast that we don't have in a lot of our podcasts. And it was good. It was a good change of pace, and everybody loved it. And I'm just overwhelmed by the support that we've had and our ability to continue to do this. And
I agree.
And to get 60 weeks so far now.
And so one thing, I keep mentioning this other podcast and everything else. It is under our brand. It's one of our babies. Yeah. So we do care about it.
Yeah, of course.
But I reached out to Rick today because Rick had, volunteered to try to fill his shoes for a while, while he's gone.
That would be impossible.
And Rick and I had a great conversation. Rick listens to both, but Rick and I had a great conversation. And the fact is that, this is your baby. I'm just going to say this is your baby. You came up with this idea. I've just been fortunate enough to hop on for the ride. But it's different than any other podcast. It's different than a radio show. When we go diving into things, we dive in deeper.
Yep.
No pun intended. We try to get in deeper. We try to, do differently. And when I told Rick, I said, all right, help me out. Some of the people that want to help host are great hosts, and people would love listening to them, but they're not him.
Right.
And I'm definitely not him. I'm so far uneducated and the opposite of him that it's ridiculous. But with him, we get really into things, So Rick and I talked about it, and Rick knew where I was coming from. He knew that this is Stephen's baby. Like, we got to do a good job taking care of it. And that doesn't mean having a captain on here this week to talk about what's biting in Merle's Inlet tomorrow. We from time to time, it's a great thing to have, but we need to have. We're fins, fur, and feathers. So Rick's going to help me with that, and between your dad helping out with some ideas and
y'all are gonna
and some other people.
Look, y'all are gonna be fine, and we're all gonna be fine. And there are times. Look, we've had times where a guest fell through.
Yep.
Today's a good example, right? I mean, where we've had guests fall through, things just aren't working out. We got to get a podcast in, and we're just going to talk about how the fishing's been for the last week. And so, you're not going to have every week. You're not going to have earth-shattering, Ted Nugent or a Jim Shockey or a podcast about a guy that drifted in the ocean for 13 hours.
Yep.
You're not going to have that every single week, and that's okay. People don't expect that every single week. People just expect you to be honest and open, and maybe even a little bit of entertaining. Some of the best response we've had have been from us just sitting around talking about.
They have been. You're right.
I mean, there's a guy that continually texts me. He's a loyal listener. His name's Alex. I don't want to call his last name on the show, but loyal listener in the rodeo, listens to the podcast, reads the magazine. One of his favorite episodes, he told me, was just me and you talking, and I don't even remember which one it was, but it was just in the mid-30s somewhere. I'm
excited because you hooked me up. We're going to go hang out and represent the show with him, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's got a great thing coming. I think it's called Blessing of the Waccamaw?
Yeah, Blessing of the Waccamaw. And it's in the fall.
It's in the fall.
And we'll definitely talk about it, and I'll try to get him on to talk about it.
Yeah, we'll plug it. We'll plug it for him and promote it for him. But, I mean, that's the kind of connections that I think people expect from this show and this podcast. And we've been so blessed to do this. And I wanted to just take a minute to say thank you. I mean, it's my last episode probably until January.
Mm-hmm.
And so, thank y'all. Thank y'all for letting me do this. I'm a lawyer by trade. I'm a public servant by trade, not a politician. Public servant and a lawyer, and so getting to change gears like this and sit in this chair and watch you behind that desk with that big.
I love being on this side of the desk. I feel terrible. The first time I came in and he's set up over here. In my mind, I'm thinking, okay, well, hang on, let me move everything over there because you're going to want to sit in your seat. But no. He just sits over there and chills.
I want you. Yeah, I want you to do your thing, and I want to sit over here and enjoy. At some point in time, I wish everybody could see our little our podcast studio here. But let me describe it.
I share a lot of pictures.
Yeah, let me describe it to you for those of you who aren't listening, okay? It's full of dead stuff.
It is.
That's the best way to describe it. It's full of guns and dead stuff. We've got a red hartebeest. We've got the number 3 bull elk archery in Colorado.
We've
got a wildebeest. We've got an African map made out of giraffe skin, which is awesome.
Yeah.
We've got a kudu horn lamp with a with a porcupine quilled lamp shade.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That is porcupine.
We've got impala. We've got another elk, which is also a very nice elk.
That's a Cape Buffalo?
No, that's a blue.
Okay.
That's a blue wildebeest.
Oh, yeah, that head's way too small to be a buffalo.
Yeah, that's a blue wildebeest, and we've got a sable. Okay, which is what we call a royal antelope, which was killed in northern Zimbabwe, which is when I broke my back.
And that is the most beautiful set of horns there.
That is a really hard critter to get. Have we ever told this story?
Nope.
I'm getting way off track.
Nope, we haven't. And actually, you would be amazed at the people that have asked me, "Did Stephen really get left in the ocean?" That listen to the podcast, they're like, "Did Stephen really get left in the ocean?"
That's a different story.
I know it's a different story, but I'm just saying, people listen to your stories on here, and no, we've not told this one yet.
I hadn't told that story either.
No.
I didn't want to tell the ocean story. I really didn't want to elaborate on it at all.
Well, you might offend the people that were involved.
I wasn't concerned about offending anybody. I didn't want to take away from Johnny's story.
Right.
Because his story, super emotional, super compelling. His testimony, fantastic, and that's his story and his time to shine. So I didn't want to talk about mine at all, and I didn't mean to steer away from it when y'all asked me about it. I just wanted the focus to be on him last week. And so, anyway,
and that's fair. That was fair to him.
Yeah, and I'll tell my story one day if you want me to tell it. I'll be happy to tell.
Yeah,
it.
one day, not today. Today, give a quick scenario on the broken back thing, which absolutely amazed me when I heard it.
All right, so my point in this whole thing was to say thank you. I get the opportunity to sit in this very cool room with very cool people like Andy Roberts and English Glover and talk about cool stories that we've had in our life. And so you just don't get an opportunity. You don't get an opportunity to do that for fun, much less for pay. And we've developed such a following, I think, just being genuine, that we actually get paid to do this now.
Yep.
And to me, that's just amazing, right? I mean, that is an amazing, God-inspired opportunity that you just can't deny. And so thank you all for that. Now, to the story. I'm in northern Zimbabwe in a territory called Doma, D-O-M.
I'm having to pull my map up real quick so I know where it is. Keep going. I'm listening.
Doma. And we are hunting around a very large lake. It's about a 7-mile lake. In fact, our little hut was on a lake. And every morning when you came out of the front steps of your hut, you had to be careful walking because there would always be hippos and crocodiles down on the lake shore. So you didn't want to stumble out in the middle of that in the dark. But anyway, so we're hunting leopard in the northern territory of Doma in Zimbabwe.
Leopard.
Yeah, this was 2009 or 10. We had been hunting leopard for about a week. And if you don't know much about leopard hunting, it is usually a very hot and sticky and stinky sort of a hunt. And the reason I say that is because it requires a lot of bait and bait animals. And what I mean by bait animals is whatever you kill, whether it be an impala or a hippo or a zebra, you're usually taking guts or like a piece of the meat, like a ham hock or a quarter or something, and you're dragging it around with you. You're carrying guts in 5-gallon buckets, and you use all that stuff to attract a leopard. And a lot of times you'll just drag it with you behind the truck, behind the Land Cruiser.
Right.
You'll drag it for miles and miles and miles, and then you'll hang a piece of bait in a tree. And so there's a lot of climbing trees and dragging guts, and you can imagine you're in 100-degree heat, and you're in the back of the truck with all those guts and all that meat, and it becomes a very stinky, hot, sticky thing after about a week. So after about a week of this, we had seen probably 20 or so leopard in the tree at night, up late at night, going to bed late at night. And so it's a very tiring sort of thing to leopard hunt. We had seen about 20 leopards, but they were all female, okay? Every night, you get in the blind, you build a new blind every time you see a track. You see a big track, and you're like, oh, yeah, this is the place. You build a blind. You get in the blind just before dark. Dark comes, you start hearing the baboons going crazy, screaming and hollering, and you think to yourself, this is going to be the leopard. And then you hear that leopard's claws climbing up the tree, okay? And you say to yourself, this is it. And you wait a minute or two, and then you hear bones crunching.
Wow.
Bones crunching in the tree in front of you. And you're 30 yards away sitting in a blind. And then you hit the spotlight. And right in front of you, beautiful leopard on a limb, silhouetted, eating this hindquarter zebra or whatever it is that you got in the tree. And she turns her back to you, and there's no set of nuts there.
Oh.
Right? You're looking for a big set of nuts when she turns her backside to you. It's a female, and it's like, dag blame it. So you cut the light off, and then that's also, it's sort of.
All I'm saying is, what could be in that light when you turn it on? That would be like.
Well, I mean, there's lions too. There's hyenas, but I mean, it's sort of nerve wracking because you cut the light off. I mean, a female leopard's very dangerous too, right? I mean, you're 30 yards away from her. You cut the light off and hope that she goes away, right?
Yeah.
Right? And you're waiting for the next leopard to show up. And so she's got to walk out of there. She can walk right past your blind, or she can walk down the road, whatever. But you got to wait for her to leave. Anyway, all of this is to say, after a week of hunting leopards, we had seen over 20 female leopards and no males. And so it was time for us to do something different. So as we were driving through the property, this was a 1 million+ acre piece of property. We were hunting a concession. We cut the tracks of a sable, a herd of sable, which is something that I had always wanted to hunt. If you ever find a sable in Africa, you need to hunt it. It's not an easy thing to do. They usually run for miles and miles and miles if you find one. So we got on tracks of this sable. And we had been on the tracks for maybe 3 hours or so. And my buddy, who was a professional hunter, his name was Ryan Cliff, and he had been attacked by a leopard, actually.
Ooh.
And he says, I'm going to go around the backside of this big lake. I'm going to take the Land Cruiser, go back to the Land Cruiser, go around the backside of this lake, get out, start walking, and try to push this herd of sable, turn this herd of sable that are continuing to run in front of us, try to turn them towards you and cut them off, basically. Because there's only one way for them to go. They'll go up high in the hills, or they'll go down low and run by the lake, or they're going to come straight at you. Most likely they're going to come straight at you. So he takes off in the other direction, goes back to the Land Cruiser, starts working his way around the other side of the lake. Huge lake. I start walking after the tracks. And I'm walking those tracks, and I've hunted with this guy before, great guy. And I trust the guy. So I'm walking, and I'm walking, and I'm walking, and about an hour later, I see the tips of a sable's horns over the top of this hill. So I duck down real low. I get on my knees, my hands and my knees. I got my gun in my hand. I got my backpack on, and I'm crawling to the top of this hill. I'm about to poke my head over the top of this hill to see what this sable is. I knew it was a sable because I could see this curved horns. I poked my head up over the top of the hill, just barely poked my head up over the top of this hill, and here's this honey badger on the top of this hill who had burrowed himself, this sandy soil. He had dug out a hole, a burrow in the top of this hill, and I crawled right into this burrow, basically. And this honey badger turns and looks at me and starts running at me. And I rolled over as fast as I could, jumped up on my feet, and started running in the other direction. And I didn't really have my heart in the run. I was just sort of trying to trot away from him until I realized he was chewing on the backs of my boots. And then I really started running, like hauling butt in the other direction. And I got about 50 yards from where he had burrowed, and I fell right into a warthog hole that had warthogs burrowed. They make these like burrow tunnels underneath trails and whatnot. And it's real soft soil on top, and then there'll be a tunnel underneath. And I fell right into this tunnel, chest high. And when I fell into this tunnel, I knew something bad had happened. My left leg went numb immediately. Felt this mechanical problem in my lower back, super tight from riding on the back of this Land Cruiser for the last week. So it was already tight and uncomfortable. And when I hit, the bottom of that warthog hole, it blew my L4, L5 out. and it broke it. I herniated L4, L5, and broke my L4, L5. And so I'm laying in this warthog hole, and the honey badger sort of trots up and looks at me and laughs at me and walks off. No problem with the honey badger. So I'm laying in this hole, and I'm sitting here, and I'm thinking, okay, well, it won't be long, and Ryan will come back through, and he'll find me and pull me out, and we'll go to the hospital, and everything will be okay. 45 minutes later, I'm still sitting in the warthog hole. And I said to myself, okay, well, it's like 110 degrees, and I'm out of water, and it's time to do something. So I crawled out of this warthog hole, and I tried to walk, and I couldn't walk, dragging my left leg. So I got down on my hands and my knees, and I crawled, and I crawled, and I crawled. And I crawled for almost 3 hours, and I almost died of thirst. Like, no joke. A couple times in my life I've almost died of thirst, and this is one of them. Like, my tongue felt like sandpaper. My eyes, when you blinked, felt like you had sandpaper in your eyes. You know, everything about your skin feels leathery. You start to get, like, your guts start to feel like they're drying out. You know, it's not a good feeling in your stomach. Off in the distance, I see this village that we had been at just 2 or 3 days before. They had a problem buffalo that had killed somebody, and they asked us to help them with this buffalo. Right behind this village, little 6, 7 huts, right behind this village, tall grass. This tall grass is probably 15 feet tall. This is where this buffalo lives, where this problem buffalo lives that had killed somebody, that they asked us to hunt. I got to crawl right through, right through this. I'm up on a hill looking down at it, and I got to crawl right through this high grass to get to this village. So anyway, I crawled through the high grass. Everything was fine. I never ran into the buffalo, thankfully. But when I got to the village, this group of guys saw me crawling, and they came and got me, and they pulled me into this little hut. It ended up being the medicine man's hut.
Have you heard the story?
I have not.
Okay. Oh,
I've heard.
I'm just checking because, okay.
No, I've heard parts of it. I haven't heard the whole story.
It's great. I'm sorry, Stephen. I was not interrupting you, but man,
you're good.
It's awesome.
You're good. So
this is my favorite part now. Well, I mean, of course, the fact that he survived is, but
so
now we get to my favorite part.
So they carry me into the medicine man's hut, and they lay me down on a grass, like a grass mat, basically. And by hut, I mean it's smaller than this room, right? It's round. If you can imagine, it's round. It's like adobe, what you would think of like an adobe hut, mud hut. It's got thatched grass roof, okay, round thatched grass roof. So the medicine man, nice guy, he spoke Shona. I spoke a little bit of English. The older guys spoke a little bit of English because they used to have English. It used to be their language before.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, before the Bush Wars back in the 70s or the 80s. So he spoke a little bit of English so we could communicate. He understood I had a problem with my back. He went and picked a bunch of herbs or something, dry grass.
Some marijuana, rolled it up.
So whatever it was, he blew smoke in my face for hours and hours and hours. It didn't help at all, burned my eyes and burned my nose. But blew smoke in my face for hours and hours and hours, and that was no help. But here's what was interesting. So they had stolen power. This little village had stolen power. There's not a lot of power in northern Zimbabwe. But there was a main road about 10 miles away, an asphalt blacktop road about 10 miles away. And they had literally hooked a live wire. I don't know how they did it without killing themselves. But hooked a live wire to a power pole on that blacktop road 10 miles away. And they ran a live wire on top of bamboo poles all the way to their village.
10 miles.
10 miles. 10 miles on top of bamboo poles. Just one after another after another. And that live wire would drape down like 5 or 6 feet. Like if you walked into it,
imagine.
You just die. I'm sure animals, just by the hundreds have been taken out by that thing. So I got a picture of it.
Dual purpose.
Yeah, I got a picture of it. I'll show it to you. So this live wire runs into this village. It only runs into one hut. Okay, it runs into the medicine man's hut. They ran a live wire through the thatched grass roof, right through the thatched grass roof, into this hut that I'm laying in. It's powering one thing. It's powering a black and white 18-inch TV. It's got a VHF insert at the bottom. I don't know if you remember the old TVs.
Oh,
that
yeah.
had VHF in the bottom. So I'm laying there. He cuts his TV on. He puts in the VHF, pushes power, pushes play. It's Michael Jackson Thriller music video. It's on repeat, y'all. It was on repeat for 12 hours while he blew smoke in my face. I was hallucinating the Michael Jackson Thriller for 12 hours. It was awful. It was like being in hell. You thought it was the wildest experience I've ever had. Finally, my buddy came and he found me the next morning, and I was just sick as a dog because they had fed me a bunch of water out of this well that ended up. I can remember clear as day. They pumped this water. I was so thirsty, and they had pumped this big bottle, which I'm sure came out of a ditch, a plastic bottle somewhere that came out of a ditch. They pumped this big plastic bottle full of water, and it came to me, and it was like 110 degrees in there, and the bottle was just cold, and it was precipitating down the sides. It was so cold, and it felt so good, and I hugged it, and I poured it all over my face, and I drank it. I drank about half of this big gallon of water, and I put it down beside me, and I remember looking at it about 5 minutes later, and it was crystal clear when I got it, and when I put it down beside me 5 minutes later, it looked like milk. Like all the whatever it was in it, bacteria or whatever, had precipitated out, and it just turned like cloudy and milky looking. And I was just sick as a dog. I was throwing up and diarrhea and all over the place. Anyway, so my buddy picks me up 12 hours later and drives me out of there. And I eventually, come back to the States and have surgery on my back. But I've got pictures of all that. We might ought to put that up on the Trilogy website.
Yeah, you get it to me.
Yeah, I got pictures.
Yeah.
I got pictures of the Medicine Man. I got pictures of the hut and the live wire and me getting picked up out there. Yeah, so crazy experience, but good. And guess what? I went back and I got my Sable. And there he lies on the table, on the desk that Inglis is working on.
Oh, you went back and got him a couple years later?
Right now. No, I actually got him before I left.
Oh, God.
With my broken back. I got him before I left. They had been scouting after I had gotten back because we couldn't get a flight out.
Yeah.
And so they had been scouting. They had found that same herd, and he said, "There's a big bull in it. Let's And we went and killed this bull with my broken back. I got a picture of me. I was in excruciating pain. Excruciating pain. My left leg wouldn't work. It was awful. But I was like, I'll be damned if I'm not leaving without something. And so I left with that Sable. That was it.
I don't blame you, but I don't envy you at all for that trip. But anyway.
But you know what? Honestly, those kind of things, regardless of how painful and nasty and ridiculous it was, my kids will probably tell that story, right? Because I used to tell my kids that story before they go to bed. Those are the kind of things that you remember.
Oh, yeah.
Right? When everything goes right and you catch the fish and the boat works great and you come home and you go to bed, you're not going to remember that next year, much less 10 years from now. But when you've got a problem with the boat and you got to swim or whatever, the line breaks and it was the biggest, 1,000-pound black marlin of your life, whatever it is, those are the stories you remember for the rest of your life.
They are.
The problems are the things you remember.
So Jay Bache, who has been on the podcast with us many times and a friend of yours, Jay had a great saying Saturday after we finally caught that fish and successfully got it in the boat. We had some heartbreaks, a couple heartbreaks and crazy situations. But once we got the fish in the boat and we were all slapping high fives and everything, we knew the fish was over 30. We just didn't know how big. But a king, it really – in 3 inches of length can be a huge difference in weight. But we slapping high fives and everything else, and it just McClure did an unbelievable job, our youth angler, fighting it. And we're all sitting there, and we're all all of a sudden we forgot the fish that got away, the rig that broke, and all this other stuff. And Jay said, "Boys, we have been fishing the entire day like they were biting like crazy, and we never let anything get us down." And he was right. The thing was, we could have easily, literally, we lost a really nice fish, bigger than the one we weighed in. We know it. and he happened to get in an anchor line or some type of line that was at the bottom that somebody had left. Probably an anchor gets broken, stuck, and they can't get it loose, so they cut the rope.
Chafed it off.
Yeah, and so we lost a really big fish that we got to see. We know it was bigger than the one we had. And a lot of times, I mean, last year in Hooked on Miracles, I lost what we felt like was either the winning fish or top 2 fish. We lost it 20 feet from the boat after fighting it for 30 minutes. And so you can get down. You can get negative. You know, it goes from, I mean, I don't drink on the boat much anyway, but everybody else was partaking and having fun. And I could have easily just slipped right on up there to the cooler and grabbed a Mick Ultra myself and just said, all right, we're done, you know. But we kept fighting hard. It was tying new rigs on, trying new colors and everything. And we hit 5 spots. And on the 5th spot, we got to this place that I had not had a great deal of success on in the past, but I knew there was king mackerel there. And not a lot, but big ones. And literally didn't even get the 4th line in the water. And we watched it hit right behind the boat, and it ran the other way 200 yards, and it stopped and came back the other way. We knew it was a good fish. And we took our time, and everybody just acted like the fish had been biting all day. Everybody did their jobs, and everything was perfect. And that's how they've got to happen for anything to work out.
Yeah, it is. I mean, you just move.
And that goes beyond just fishing, though.
Oh yeah,
it goes in life.
It is. Right. You just move on. You got to.
Yep.
You just move on.
Yeah, you do. And you know, we're almost at an hour, and I'm just going to give you a little bit of. We're going to end it. We're done. We're good. We're closing up, but I just want to tell you something. When you listen to this podcast, you're going to be amazed.
Okay. Why is that?
I'll just tell you that this will probably be one of our most popular podcasts, and I'm just going to tell you that. But tomorrow, at about 1:00, when I upload this, you just be ready.
Okay. All right, I'll be ready.
I will say, I don't pat myself on the back ever, but I'm patting myself on the back. I had a damn good idea, and it came through. And all I'm saying is this much. Everybody's listening right now. The next 15 minutes of this podcast, you guys are just going to enjoy it. And it's going to be my sentiments exactly, and how much I respect you and appreciate you and everything that you do, not just as a business partner, but I appreciate you as a public servant. I don't want to say politician.
No.
But more importantly, I appreciate you as a friend, as a father, as a brother, as just being you.
And I appreciate that.
And I'm sure there's some more sentiments, and you'll get to hear those here shortly. So,
all right. Well, I'm looking forward to it.
You should be. Trust me.
Looking forward to it.
Well, listen. I know you're leaving on Thursday, right? Heading out Thursday.
Yeah, sort of.
You have to check in.
Yeah, we've got like a. Yeah, I mean I guess that's the best way to put it. We've got like a check-in process on Thursday. Our fly day is shortly thereafter. We will be going to Fort Hood, which is now renamed because of the Biden administration, to some name that I can't pronounce. So we're going to Fort Hood. We're going to Fort Hood to get more training. Our pre-mob workup and more training. We'll be at Fort Hood for maybe 3 or 4 weeks, and then we'll be hitting the ground in Djibouti sometime thereafter. And
you're not far from Zimbabwe, from wherever you were. You're not really far.
Like
I pulled it up.
4,000 miles.
Yeah, not really far.
Yo, if you don't, I mean, somebody asked me that the other day. Who was it? Somebody asked me that the other day. Would I be close enough to hunt? And I'm like, have you looked at the continent of Africa on a map?
No, it's crazy. Yeah, I mean, I did. I scrolled from there and went straight to Djibouti.
It's like from here. It's farther where we hunt in South Africa, for instance. It's farther from here to Alaska than it is from Djibouti to.
Oh, okay.
South
Wow.
Africa.
All right. Well, I'm just.
It's
maybe I was just thinking just because you're on the same continent.
It's like, yeah. I mean, think about how far it is from here to Alaska. It's farther than that.
Well,
it's like 4,500 miles or something crazy. I mean, it's a ginormous continent. And so, no, I'm not going to be anywhere. We won't be hunting. Well, let's just put it this way. We won't be hunting animals. We aren't going to be anywhere close to the southern to the southern
I
hemisphere.
honestly hope you don't have to hear this, but
Yeah, me either. But we aren't going to be anywhere close to where we're hunting in South Africa or Zimbabwe.
10-4. Well, I'll tell you what, folks, if you want to reach out to Steven, send any of his guys or him any emails or anything, reach us through trilogyoutdoorsmedia.com. You can reach us through there. You can always find out everything on trilogyoutdoorsmedia.com also. Everything about the Grand Strand Rodeo. The magazine will be up today on there. I forgot. I hadn't got it up there yet. But I do have it in stands everywhere. And, of course, Southern Anglers Radio Show every Saturday morning. And we are getting ready to go on a 7-week tour. Every week for the summer, we're calling it our bait shop and tackle shop tour. We're going to be somewhere different, including the grand opening of our partners at Seaside Market. We'll be at Marlin Quay. We'll be at, Crazy Sister. We'll probably be at Marlin Quay, maybe. We'll be at Crazy Sister. We'll be at Perry's Bait and Tackle. We'll be at New Inlet Rocks Tackle when it gets open here soon. We'll be at Pawleys Island Outdoors the week of 4th of July. But we got a great tour scheduled for the summer. So Saturdays are going to be fun traveling around. You can come hang out with us. And don't forget Captain Spolonius Report live every Tuesday, recorded at Merle's Inlet Fishing Charters on the Marsh Walk. We come down, participate, have fun. We have a great time, trust me. You can come down there and hang out. There's always a good time on the Marsh Walk anyway. We just make it a little bit more fun. So.
And don't beat Andy's reef donkey.
That's right.
Correct.
And you cannot beat Andy's reef donkey. Best of luck to you, Andy. I hope that thing holds up. We might have to go find you a bigger one though.
Yeah.
Oof.
We might.
Yeah, we might.
While we've got Lucas's boat here, we might want to go soon. But the weather looks terrible, just so you know.
I think Sunday it's shaping up, but Sunday's a long way.
Sunday?
From
Yeah.
now.
Yeah. Well, Stephen, thank you so much for your friendship, and thank you for your service. Yeah. You'll be in our prayers, and we'll be back next week. And I think next week is going to be myself and Rick Alston talking some fins, fur, and feathers, and elk in particular. So make sure you tune in for that. But if it is fins, fur, and feather, you can find it all right here on Trilogy Outdoors Podcast.
All right, Senator Stephen Goldfinch and the South Carolina National Guard and Army Reserve, the Nugent family, and all great Americans know that freedom ain't free. So a big salute, God bless, and Godspeed on your mission into another hell zone for good over evil. God bless you guys and gals. Stay on course. You're on a true north compass setting. Stick with the United States constitutional oath for freedom, life, liberty, and the pursuit of gonzo happiness. Only in the United States of America. And keep fighting for the good fight, guys. Uncle Ted and the Nugent family is with you. Be safe and trample the weak, hurdle the dead. Go nuts. Live it up. Freedom, baby. It's everything.
Hey, Stephen. Scott Whitaker. I'm calling you from Tucson, Louisiana today, but I wasn't going to miss the chance to tell you thank you and how much we appreciate all your time and talents that you give to the great state of South Carolina and to this great country. Really appreciate that that your deployment's coming up, and that we want you to be safe and be thinking about your entire deployment, and we will look forward to seeing you when you're getting home and talking fish. But please be safe and know that we'll be thinking about you in our thoughts and prayers, and wishing you a safe return, buddy. See you soon.
Stephen Goldfinch, my friend, this is your Congressman Russell Fry. I am just proud to know you and really appreciate the work that you are doing for our community and our country. We wish you good fortune while you're away. We wish you Godspeed and a safe return coming back. If there is anything that we can do to help you or your family during this time, personally, professionally, we're happy to do that. But we really appreciate, from my family's heart, from the bottom of our hearts, the work that you are doing for our country, and wishing you safe return, my friend. I'll see you soon.
Son, this is your dad. I've always told everyone that you were a man by the age of 13, and I never had to worry about you doing the right thing. I am worried about you now, but I know you will always do the right thing, and I'm very proud of you defending our country. Please be safe and know that we love you, and we will take care of things here while you're taking care of things over there. I love you, son.
Stephen, first, Thank you for deciding to take a break from elk hunting this year so that I don't have to worry about you shooting another animal out from under me. I look forward to correcting your embellished stories of our adventures on the podcast soon. Secondly, and in all seriousness, through your tough facade, there's a caring husband, a loving father, an inspirational leader, a knowledgeable teacher, and a patriotic warrior that is willing to endure hardships and suffer if need be so others will not have to. The sacrifice that you, Renee, and the children, and all of those that wear the uniform freely take on is a debt that the rest of the nation, my family, and myself can never repay. However, what we will do is be there to support you, Renee, and the kids with everything we can on the home front, while you protect our freedom and our way of life overseas. I will personally cherish our journeys to Colorado, Africa, and Belize, and look back on them fondly, while also looking forward to our next adventure upon your return. You are someone that continuously pushes me to become better in all aspects of my life, professionally and personally, and I'm so very proud and honored to call you a friend. To paraphrase a line from Patton's speech to the Third Army, all right, you son of a gun, now you know how I feel. SWYD, always the Austins.
Stephen, this is Mike. Just wanted to drop you a note saying I hope you have a safe trip. Godspeed. Be safe. Watch your six. And remember 3 things that I learned back in my tactical days. Always look cool. Always know where you are. And if you don't know where you are, look cool anyway. Love you, man. Looking forward to get back in the water. See ya.
Stephen, this is Tom Swatzel. Thank you for your service to our country and the Army National Guard. We pray for you and your fellow soldiers' safe return from deployment overseas. We're so thankful you're willing to serve in the military and make the personal sacrifices necessary to preserve our freedoms. I know it's not easy to leave Renee, Hadley, and Tripp for the months that you'll be deployed. And thank you for your service in the State Senate. You stood for the conservative values of the citizens of District 34 and have done a very good job of representing their interest. I especially appreciate your strong advocacy for fishing interest and the use of common sense in fishery management. Thank you so much. Be safe, Stephen.
Good afternoon, Stephen. This is your colleague Lee Hewitt, just calling to wish you the best of luck as you go over to Africa to serve our country. Thank you for what you do. Thank you for what everyone that is going with you and all military are doing. And just wanted to let you know that anything comes up in our constituent areas, I'll be glad to help those that I can. And if for some reason I can't help them, I will make sure that they know that it is your fault. But just kidding, we'll take care of anything. Make sure your office knows to call me. And also Renee and your family, anything that we can do to help them while you're gone, please tell them to reach out and we will do what we can. Again, safe travels. Godspeed to you and everyone that is going with you, and look for your quick return. Thank you.
Hey, Stephen, Jacob Williams and my family here. Just wanted to say good luck going to Africa. We're praying for you, praying for Renee and the kids as you're gone. Stay safe. We'll hold the fort down, and good luck. Tell your wife if y'all ever need anything, if she needs anything, we're a few blocks away. Thank you for all you've done. Thank you for your service, and stay safe.
Hey, Stephen. It's the Flounder Pounder, sitting on the big wooden deck in this beautiful place we call home, looking around and appreciating everything we have and all the rights and freedoms and how lucky we truly are to be Americans. It is because of people like you who are willing to serve our country, to fight for our freedom and our rights, that we get to enjoy everything. It also paves the way for the next generation, for our kids and our grandkids, to live free. And I can't thank you enough from the bottom of my heart. I will tell you that the Burton family will have you in our thoughts and prayers. We hope you have a safe trip to Africa, a quick trip to Africa. Can't wait for you to get back. The future has never been brighter, and we want you to have a fast, quick, safe return, and we'll be thinking about you while you're over there. God bless, and God bless America.
Hey, Stephen. This is your buddy Thomas McElveen. It's been such a great ride serving with you in the South Carolina legislature for these past 11 years, and it's been such a wonderful blessing to call you and Renee and the kids our friends for well over a decade now. I've had a front row seat as you fearlessly stood by your convictions, as you've stood strong representing the people in your home district, and as we've worked together to make the state that we both love so dearly an even better place to be. And now you make us all so proud with the sacrifice that you and your family are making as you dedicate yourself to serving our country abroad. I thank you for your service in defense of our country, and I'm inspired by the fact that you're going above and beyond yet again. Please make sure you take good care of yourself and stay safe while you're away. We got plenty of work to do in 2024, and you and I have plenty of flounder to gig, fish to catch, and turkeys and ducks to hunt just as soon as you get back. Rest assured that our prayers will be with you and your family daily. May God bless you and keep you until I see you again, my friend.
Senator Goldfinch, Gaddis Brandon here with the South Carolina Boating and Fishing Alliance. Just wanted to wish you well and safe and secure wishes when you go overseas this summer. I know the Trilogy's Outdoor Media podcast will miss you. I would contend that the boating and fishing industry will miss you more at the State House and around the State House. You're one of our most fierce legislators for what's right for boating and fishing. Man, we're going to miss you. Stay safe. Hurry up and get back. Thank you for all you do.
Hey, Stephen, we're going to miss you here around the inlet, man. Good luck with your deployment. We'll take care of things around here if you need any help. I'll try to stay out of trouble with the snapper and the trespassing and the artifact while you're gone. We'll miss you so much. Thanks for what you do, buddy. See you soon.
Hey there, Stephen. This is Stuart Butler with Visit Myrtle Beach. I just wanted to wish you the best of luck before you deploy. Your dedication, your sacrifice, your bravery, they're so remarkable and inspiring to all of us. We're going to be behind you, supporting you, praying for you every step of the way, each and every day. Please, as you're out there, stay safe, stay resilient, and know that you're making a massive impact on the world, just like you do each and every day on our community. And so thank you for your dedication and your sacrifice. And I hope to see you again really, really soon.
Senator Goldfinch, this is Beth Goodall from Georgetown County. I heard you're going to be deploying soon and wanted to thank you and your family for the sacrifices you're making to protect our freedom. We will be praying for all of you and for a safe return. See you soon.
Hey, Stephen. This is Ship Johnston with Southern Crown Partners. I wanted to thank you for everything you do for our community, our state, and our country. I wish you all the best in your deployment and look forward to enjoying a cold beer when you return. Be safe and take care, my friend.
Hello, Stephen. This is Jeff Dennis, your outdoor writer friend, checking in from Charleston. I understand you're about to deploy in the service of our country, and I just wanted to call and wish you well. On that note, I'm sitting here having breakfast with my father, who served in the Air Force. He's 90 years old now. And we got a quote-unquote war story to share with you. My sister married a naval aviator, and my father was on the Tiger cruise for Dependence that went from Pearl Harbor to San Diego and was in the middle of the Pacific Ocean when 9/11 happened. Daddy's laughing because he remembers. So they went from relaxed attire to battle stations and lights out the rest of the way because they didn't want anybody tracking their movements. And that is a true story. And I just share that with you. Wish you well. Hope you don't have as colorful of a story while you're gone. We're looking out on his backyard right now. We got a red, white, and blue windsock blowing in the wind. We overlook Charleston Harbor, and we've had a good life here in the USA thanks to our servicemen. Daddy, you want to say anything in? Okay, that was best wishes. Bye-bye, Stephen.
Hey, Stephen, Captain Cephas here. I just wanted to drop you a note. I know you're about getting ready to deploy. Wanted to tell you how much myself and all the rest of us appreciate your service and what you do for our country. A couple, three things that I kind of keep in the back of my mind that keep me going are: without God, we have no life. Without country, we have no freedom. And without family, we have no purpose. So I hope that you will have a safe deployment and a safe return back to us here in the United States. And certainly when you get back, I look forward to meeting you in person, shaking your hand and saying thank you, and also the opportunity to do a little fishing together. So safe travels, my friend. Look forward to seeing you when you get back.
Stephen, this is Johnny Savage.
Just want to take some time to thank you so much for your commitment to the United States and try to make it a better place every day through your service with the military, then also through your service trying to make this country better through its laws. Also thankful for you're a guy that's bold and you're not afraid to stand up for the fact that you love Jesus Christ. And we'll be praying for you and your family while you're gone, and just wake up every day and put that armor of God on, and strength and honor to you, brother.
Steven, my man, I'm in Okeechobee. Just want to tell you thank you. Stay safe. I got the best guides in the game down here, getting you ready for an Osceola whenever you return. Hopefully I'm gonna have a big old check for you from catching those kingfish on those secret numbers that you gave me. But man, thank you for what you're doing. Please stay safe and please come back and see us. And we look forward to you coming back, my man. We'll be praying for you, and can't wait to see you whenever you get back. Later.
Thank you, Mr. Steven.
What do you got to say, Melanie?
Thank you, Mr.
Yay!
Senator Goldfinch, this is Brandon Ellis, Georgetown County Emergency Management. On behalf of our departments, I wanted to wish you well on your upcoming deployment. I wanted to thank you for your service and let you know that yourself, your family, and your fellow troops will remain in our thoughts and prayers while you're away. Continue to do the good things that you're doing for South Carolina and for this great nation, and we'll be here for you on the home front, awaiting your return. Thank you.
Hey, Goldie, man, miss you already. Just wanted to take a second, send a quick recording. Tell you I'll be thinking about you. Be safe. Appreciate your service, man, and everything that you do. Kind of hard. I was working yesterday. Half the day I was sitting there wondering what I was going to do without you around for the next 6 months. Be safe over there. I'm going to try and dive a few times for you while you're gone. I'll be thinking about you. Come on back. We'll break in a new boat when you get back. All right, brother. Love you.
Thank you, Mr. Steven. You're in our prayer.
All right, that was Russ, and now it's my turn. And I don't think I have to say much because episode 59, I pretty much said it all at the end. But you are my hero, and I am so fortunate to have you as a friend first, partner second, and senator, and whatever else you want to put it. But first and foremost, you're a hero. You're a true patriot, and that's exactly why I had no trouble getting all these recorded messages to you. People love you. Renee, Tripp, and Hadley will be in all of our thoughts and prayers, and anything they need, they only need to reach out to any of the 25, 30 of us, but we're all there for them, and we can't thank you enough. You and all the men and women that are overseas, that are in uniform every day, we appreciate y'all. I look forward to talking to you while you're over there, keeping you busy, keeping your mind off being over there and missing your family, and I'm going to keep you working with the podcast and keep you working with Trilogy Outdoors, but we really appreciate you, brother. Godspeed and love you, man.
Trilogy Outdoors Podcast is a product of Trilogy Outdoors Media. All views and opinions of our hosts and guests are not necessarily those of our sponsors. Trilogy Outdoors is produced and edited by Trilogy Outdoors Media. Be sure to follow us on all the podcast platforms as well as our social media pages on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. And also don't forget our other brands, Southern English Radio Show and Walk 'em All Outdoor Magazine. To find more information, visit TrilogyOutdoorsMedia.com. And remember, if it's anything dealing with fins, fur, and feathers, you're going to find it right here on Trilogy Outdoors.